Thematic storytelling, the weaving of a central idea, message, or universal truth, that is, a theme throughout a narrative. It goes beyond just the plot to give the story depth, meaning, and emotional resonance. Stories that might seem disjointed at first can be pieced together using thematic echoes, or themes that repeat throughout. I believe thematic storytelling can be used to make sense of ALD1's lore for their upcoming EP, Euphoria. In the past, Wake One has never quite committed to adding lore to their groups. For instance, Zero Base One had alluded to a video game storyline in their music videos for In Bloom and Back to Zero Base during their debut era. As such, you could technically argue that their following releases were just different simulated worlds the members visit, but I feel like that might be overreaching as there is not much evidence to back up this claim. Overall, I wouldn't call ZB1 a lore-heavy group, but I do believe Wake One is setting up ALD1 to have lore, which then leads to my question for this video. What is ALD1's lore? Is there a way to thematically weave together all that they have teased so far? That's what I'll be trying to do in this video. Since they have not officially debuted yet, this is all speculation, and I could be completely off the mark with my ideas, so please, take all that I say with a grain of salt. These are all my interpretations, and I'm really just doing this for the fun of it. I'd love to hear your own interpretations and theories in the comments below. Chapter 1: Road to Euphoria. A missing star, a missing dot in the sky, an unfinished constellation. Are the 8 boys up for the challenge of looking for this star, this raw flame, and completing what was once whole? I interpret that the name Alpha Drive 1 represents the members' aspirations to work towards one destiny as they go on this journey to drive to the top, a search for the raw flame, and connection. Euphoria, Alpha Drive 1's debut EP, speaks to the start of this mission to reconnect. To connect their realities like a constellation of stars, a winding path to wholeness, a star road to heavenly paradise, a dream to unite as one. Before getting into the lore-heavy teasers, I want to take a look at the 2 Star Road films, both the day and night versions, as well as their Mama stage intro. I believe these pieces of media point to key symbolism and metaphors that are echoed in the more lore-heavy films by Raw Flame. In the Mama VCR and stage effects, we were first introduced to the main symbol of the album, a constellation with 8 stars. It's easy to assume that the 8 stars represent the 8 members of Alpha Drive 1. However, I also believe it might be indicative of a map with 8 points or locations they have to stop at before they reach their final destination. Marylinth on Twitter, no, I will not be calling it X, suggested that the constellation may represent a journey where every point the stars connect is a region they must visit on their way to Euphoria, a road to Euphoria. Then this asks the question, is Euphoria a physical place, or is it a feeling? Some allies, like myself and Marylinth, predict that Euphoria is an alternate universe. The idea that Euphoria may be a physical place is further supported through the Star Road film day version. Notice how the members' car has a license plate with Euphoria listed as the area location, with the number being 2025-0925, which refers to the date of the finale for Boys to Planet, September 25th, 2025. It could be perhaps that they embarked on this journey towards their first pit stop location, Euphoria, starting on September 25th. Some other interesting details can be found in the road signs. There's a sign that says Euphoria Entrance, as well as a 2-way sign crossed out to say 1-way, and a stop sign overridden to be a start sign. Taken together, these point to the fact that whatever journey the members are on is one they cannot turn back from. Once they start, there is also no stopping, only blazing a path forward towards a shared dream that draws the 8 to a single destined outcome. This may be symbolism for the metaphorical journey across time and space they are making to the alternate universe, Euphoria. I believe this line of thinking is cemented by the ending clip for both Star Road films. There's a stamp indicating Alpha Drive 1, their starting point, and a map line drawn to connect this point with the location of Euphoria. Alpha Drive 1 is going on a journey with 8 pit stops before going to their end destination. Whether Euphoria is the end destination or simply just the first location is unknown, but they are certainly going somewhere over space and time. In terms of viewing this first EP as a form of musical storytelling, I predict that the order of the tracks is important. The EP will include 6 tracks, some new and some from the Boys to Planet series. The first is Formula, which I think is important. Second is Freak Alarm, the title track. third is Raw Flame, fourth is Chains, fifth, Never Been to Heaven, and sixth is Cinnamon Shake. I believe every part of Alpha Drive 1's debut era is intentional, even down to the dates of releases. Formula was released on December 3rd. If written differently, it is 1203 or 123. This signifies Formula as the start of the album and this race to unity that the boys are embarking on. It's a countdown to their driving force for completion and wholeness that must be restored. 3, 2, 1, 시작. This, as well as ideas of blazing a path forward at one's own pace and direction, is reiterated in the lyrics for the song. Quote, holding the future, bursting out the flame inside me, read the world of deep uncertainty, move just like the answer. Now I make the pattern on my own, that perfect way, perfectly warmer than the tears could be, the fire in my beating chest, it's you. That last line is something I'll bring up later in my discussions of the Raw Flame film. Now, let's look at the boys who plan a finale song, Never Been to Heaven, the fifth track on the debut EP. The speaker describes existing in a state of discord with a certain person. They are completely different from each other, and yet, they are magnetically drawn closer to one another. In the song, the speaker suggests that the two run, chasing after that light together, despite their apparent opposite natures. Quote, you from another space, another time, and we meet in the same space, the same time, dreaming the same dream, with hearts at the same height, they narrate. This very moment I've been waiting for, I follow this thrill, swelling as if it might burst. Eyes meeting, inside them, a pounding heart. From this, we can extrapolate that these two individuals, who are light years apart, polar opposites, decide to make things work and follow the beat of their own hearts. They write on this melody and let their chemistry burn between them like a raw flame. As they dance and vibe to the music, they follow that spark of light, and the heaven they'll reach is something they don't want to lose. Never Been to Heaven is about the perfect opposites attract story, where they become one in a blaze of fiery passion and connection. Being together is like heaven, and the brighter their synergy sparks, the more they are one. A rhythm that makes them one, their very own symphony and perfect rhapsody. This harmony between two different flames is a sunlight that fills the narrator's world, and at last, they reach the top. This can relate to Boys to Planet in the sense that contestants from both Planet K and Planet C were merged and all worked towards the same dream of debuting. But it could also refer to the journey the members of ALD1 are going on. This perfectly lays out the ideas that underscore Alpha Drive 1's thematic storyline: a chase to one destiny, a drive to the top, towards a greater final destination on their journey to find their lost raw flame. Chapter 2: Hidden Cuts. The wounds we would rather hide.
Alpha Drive 1.
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 What you just watched is a compilation of the hidden cuts by Raw Flame for all 8 members. Did you notice what I did here? I paired the members up, 4 pairs of 2. I did this because while watching each of the hidden cuts, one of the first things that stood out to me was the background music. Some videos had only background noises, such as the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, or the crashing of waves, whereas others were only wistful, pensive, or even melancholic piano. It felt odd to me. By themselves, each of the videos felt unnervingly hollow. like something was missing. So I tried conducting an experiment. I clipped each of the videos and began layering them over each other. While doing this, I noticed that some videos lined up with each other almost perfectly, both visually and sonically. Notice how each of the pairs were filmed in similar locations and have similar sound effects. Sanghyun and Adeno are in a sewer system tunnel with the sounds of dripping water. Sangwan and Ganu are exploring the outdoors on a sunny day. Shinlong and Junsa are wallowing around a pool of water next to a set of stairs. The only odd pairing is Anshin and Leo. They aren't filmed in the same location, but the coloring of the films are almost identical. Anshin's video, like the others, ends around 19 to 20 seconds, but Leo's lingers. He stares into the camera with forlorn eyes, and with a click of the camera, his segment ends. Interesting. What's more, each of the pairings have a certain tonality or connotation to them. Sanghyun and Adeno seem distraught and mournful. Sanghyun sulks as the person on the other end of the line doesn't pick up his call. Jiahao rubs the palms of his hands together as if sending a silent prayer. Sangwon and Ganu, on the other hand, seem lost in thought, maybe reminiscing about happy memories, aimlessly wandering and pondering. The music is dreamlike and nostalgic. Children playing can be heard in the background. Suddenly, both make eye contact with the camera as recognition flickers in their eyes and then cut to black. Shinlong and Junsa seem bored, with Junsa kicking at rocks on the ground and Shinlong playing with his fingers that have dried blood on them. Shinlong makes eye contact with the camera multiple times, while Junsa seems to try his hardest to avoid it at all costs. There's a focus on their eyes, looking out in different directions, never really making eye contact. Anshin and Leo look lonely and reflective. Both look at the camera directly, but their eyes are always wandering to something else, never really lingering on it. The themes I see in the four pairings are grief, wistfulness, isolation, disconnect, and loss. Chapter 3: Raw Flames and Shattered Memories. These are further developed and alluded to in the Euphoria film by Raw Flame. The short film is broken up into 3 distinct chapters: 1, No Flame, 2, No Frame, and 3, Raw Flame. These are not laid out chronologically. The first chapter, No Flame, appears to happen after an inciting incident. It is described that the flame of the boys' world vanished on a random day. Each of the boys speak out loud their longing and heartbreak for a lost beloved, their raw flame. They long to reconnect with someone that they care about. However, their odes fall on deaf ears. They're isolated within their scenes, seemingly alone in the world. There are no people, no animals, no signs of life other than the boys and the flourishing flora swathing the desolate wasteland they reside in. The emptiness of their surrounding environments makes the scenes eerily quiet. It is implied that they are in a post-apocalyptic setting, standing as the last remaining survivors of whatever tragedy had befallen mortal societies on that fateful day they speak of. This is apparent from their rough appearances. They are visibly beaten up, with bruises, cuts, and scrapes blooming on their skin. Also of note is Sangwon appearing to be wearing Walkman headphones, and Sanghyun attempting and failing to call someone on a flip phone. The use of retro technology alludes to the scenes taking place before modern cellular devices, that is, during the 1980s to 1990s. Some, but not all, of the boys are wearing school uniforms, which I assume are from the same high school. As this chapter comes to an end, Sanghyun drops his flip phone, and the soundtrack swells as flashes of the boys' faces are shown. In the second chapter, No Frame, the tone of the film changes drastically. What was once washed-out film is now crisp, digicam footage. This suggests a time jump, where these scenes occur in the 21st century. The members appear to be on the move. Ganu, Ardeno, and Sangwon are in a dark cement jungle. Adeno in particular leaves a smoking vehicle. Could this be a kind of time machine like in Back to the Future? They're wearing modern clothing that fits hip-hop or streetwear aesthetics. It should be noted that the boys are still as battered up as in the previous section, yet they seem empowered rather than vulnerable. Sangwon, the focal character, is seen calling someone using an iPhone or running in a parking garage. Each member is isolated within their scenes, similar to the past chapter, and do not interact with anyone. The settings are similar, but they never cross paths. Sanghyun is in an abandoned house, scavenging for items by rummaging through cabinets and drawers. Shinlong sits on a metal fence as the sun beats down on him. There are sporadic cuts to Shinlong running from falling buildings and wandering in the forest. Junsa is running in an empty resort building, walls falling around him. Leo retreats from collapsing towers and sprints across the beach, sand sticking to his damp skin. Could it be that this is the same beach that Anshin was seen on during the hidden cuts? Speaking of Anshin appears cornered as a school building falls apart around him. Could it be that the world is falling apart both in the past and in the present? Or are these different dimensions or alternate universes that run parallel to each other with mirroring events? These are all questions that are left unanswered by the film. Suddenly, scenes from both No Frame and No Flame glitch into each other, a fusion of past and future. The words, "My flame," appear on a single frame. We transition to the third and final chapter of the short film. The boys appear to be on the beach at night. They laugh and smile as they outstretch their arms towards the full moon. Sanghyun appears to jump to catch the floating orb. Sangwon is waving at it, a distant greeting. The film then rewinds, cutting to the title card of the third section, Raw Flame. They are all wearing schoolboy outfits and gathered on a rooftop, noticeably happier than in previous sections. Their skin lacks any signs of distress, no bruises, cuts, and scrapes. As such, we can assume that this chapter occurs first chronologically. Happy, content, and making promises, they appear unscathed from the hardships they face in No Flame. They are together, not a moment isolated or alone. These are the heavenly moments that the boys aspire to go back to. They want to go back to a time when they were once in harmony, naive to the tragedy and chaos that will befall them. To summarize, the core story told in the Euphoria film by Raw Flame is that of 8 teenage boys bound by friendship, dreams, and whispered promises in what appears to be the 1980s or 1990s. They are carefree and just beginning to start meaningful, intimate relationships with each other. In particular, Sungwon and Ganu appear to be in a budding relationship that teeters the line between friends and overcaring. This is their beginning, the first morning when everything began. The raw flame they speak of, the beloved they yearn for in the aftermath of a disaster, is implied to be each other, the friend group, or another member specifically, perhaps a close friend or even lover. Think back to the formula lyrics. Quote, "The fire in my beating chest, it's you." Then, the world ends. Everything is thrown into chaos and they're scattered over space and time. Perhaps some divine power has split them apart into separate realities, timelines, or existences, where they are unable to reach each other. This may be why they are on a journey. They experienced great loss and must travel to alternate realities to correct the cosmic damage that has been done. It appears that there is another timeline where they are in the present day, aware of the destruction of the world and on the run. They are searching for their raw flame, their meaning for existing. Before the end of the world, they made promises to be together. Now, not even the coming of Armageddon will tear them apart. I hypothesize that the members are time travelers. They have been sent on a mission to correct the past by exploring their future and vice versa. Perhaps they exist in multiple levels and multiple space-time continuums. For instance, there may be a Sangwon in the present day who is reaching out for help using an iPhone at the same time there is a Sangwon in the past who is listening to music on his Walkman. But let's be real, one truth stands above all. These 8 boys have seen the aftermath and must make things right. What spurs them on is their desire to be with each other again. Their connection as a group is their driving force to act. Whatever event of mass destruction caused the world to become desolate must be undone. What this is exactly is unknown, but this EP is the beginning of that righteous mission to save the world and reunite as one. As our tagline goes, one destiny, drive to the top, we are Alpha Drive 1. So, you might be asking me at this point, how do I make sense of this all? How do all of these loose threads connect? If I'm being completely honest, I'm not quite sure yet. I believe there are so many things within the world of ALD1's lore that haven't been answered yet. We can speculate, like I did in this video, but we won't know for sure until later down the line. Such as, how do the boys know each other? What is their end destination? Are the members human, or are they some kind of extraterrestrial beings? I believe a lot of these will be answered in the debut music video and content. I just wanted to get a head start and share all of my pre-debut ideas about ALD1's lore before they officially release the EP. Maybe in the future I'll revisit this and see how correct, or if we're being honest, how incorrect I may have been. But for now, we have to wait for the album to arrive first. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I just wanted to say that I was absolutely blown away by the response to my first video on this channel. It made me emotional that my video connected with so many of you, and that we were able to have in-depth discussions about ALD1 and the members in the comment section. I feel like I had known that ALD1 was popular prior to starting this YouTube channel, but it really started to hit me once I saw the sheer amount of engagement my video got. So, thank you. I appreciated all of you taking the time to listen to my thoughts, share your own in the comments section, and or suggest ideas for future videos. I couldn't help but think that you were all the cutest and sweetest people ever. I definitely want to post more on this YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that. I cannot guarantee that uploads will be frequent once my university classes start, so please be patient. I'm hoping to post maybe once a month, but we'll have to see. I will 100% make a video review of the album once it is released, but until then, Happy New Year, and let's support ALD1 together. Fighting!